today we're about to replace the front brake pads on a Nissan Rogue. It's a 2011, so I want you guys to be part of this project. So let's go ahead, jack up the car, get the wheel off, and then we'll start the project. So don't go anywhere, folks. Stay tuned. And we have the wheels off, and there's a wheel right here, and then we put it underneath of the car for safety. So what we're dealing with, we're gonna have to replace the brake pads. Is the front brake pads. There are two 14 millimeter bolts that need to be unscrewed. Perhaps I'm gonna have to unscrew the one on the bottom so I can flip the caliper off so I can get the brake pads off and replace them with these new brake pads. Okay. So folks, I just noticed that the CV axle right here is leaking. So see, there's a lot of grease that is coming out. So the boot might be torn or the boot is leaking. So we're gonna have to focus on that sometime later on and pretty soon before it gets even worse. But now let's focus on the brake pads. So we're gonna have to unscrew the lower bolt first, and then we're gonna tackle the brake pads first. But this is what we're dealing with. So this is all rusted over here on the rotors, and even the calipers are rusted. So let me show you what I'm talking about. See all this flying debris from the rust that is coming of the rotors. So it's all rusted. So anyhow, so we have one 14 millimeters bolt right here, another one right here that we have to unscrew. So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be unscrewing the lower one, the one on the bottom, so we can flip the caliper off, so we can remove the brake pads, and then we're gonna grease the tubing, the piston, both up and lower. So let's go ahead and do that. So okay folks, it's loose now, so we can go ahead and unscrew the lower bolt. There it is. So we're gonna put it over here, and let's go ahead and push the piston back. So let's go ahead and remove and flip the caliper off. Okay, so the caliper, so I don't know if you guys can see that how twisted this rubber is. You know, it seems like this, look at that. That means there's no lubricant in those tubing. So we're gonna have to do intensive works. But first, let's get those rusted metal off. I don't know if you can see how they're flying off. And we can also get those old brake pad off and try to get the second one. Here you go. So those, they have to come off as well. There you go. Get the bottom one off as well. So we're gonna have to use our wire brush to brush most of the rust. Okay folks, so let's get our wire brush so we can brush off all those dust, all those rust. and get this car back into shape. I don't know if you can see all those rust that is falling off. So just by tapping, we gain some rust that is falling off. So I'm using a big wire metal to get the most of the rust off. I don't know if you can see how much dust that is flying off. Of your car like that. So after using the big wire metal, so let's use a small wire metal to get the corner, very tiny location that we can get with the big brush. Look at that, folks. Look at that. So basically this probably need to be replaced, but we're gonna keep it for a year because this car needs intensive work done. So we're just gonna focus on the brake pads for now. I think that's good for now. We can go ahead and use dust buster. So we are compressing the caliper piston with the presser. Okay, I think the caliper look decent enough. You know, we did a pretty good cleaning. Now we can go ahead and add the accessories and also the brake pads. So these are the brand new brake pads, and these two right here are the all new. These two right here are the old brake pads. So we're gonna add some NECs on each tip of those new brake pads, and as well as some NECs, add some NECs over here and over there, and on each corner where the metal is gonna be touching one another, so there is no friction. So we're gonna add NECs on the edge of these brake pads. There you go, that's good enough. Now we can go ahead and install the brake pads. It's very difficult. Okay, now that we have the brake pads installed, so we can go ahead and remove those pins. Make sure that the rubber doesn't break. So let's see. Oh Lord Jesus, this thing is so dry. I don't think it will have last another 2 months. So let's go ahead and clean that and add some lubricant. So this is the lubricant I'm going to be using to lubricate those pins and also inside the pin. So folks, now let's add some lubricant to the bushing, to the piston. So let's go ahead and add it to the chamber. Make sure that the lubricant is getting inside nice and neat, and then we're gonna push the lubricant. So any excess lubricant, so it has to come off. So let's go ahead and push it. Here you go. It's good. Let's remove the excess lubricant. And we can bring the caliper down Make sure everything fits into place. The upper piston, so let's go ahead and remove the bolt. Okay. So now we're going to flip the piston down. There you go. But we're not gonna flip it all the way down. We're just gonna leave it like that so we don't put pressure on the brake line. Okay, that's good enough. So we have enough room to remove this piston right here. Look at that. This is dreadful. There you go, folks. This is dry. So we're going to wipe this off and then put more lubricant into it. Okay, folks. Okay, now we just clean up the piston and add lubricant to it. So let's go ahead and push the piston back to its chambers and make sure that the lubricant is in all the way inside. Add some lubricant to the bushing to the piston. So let's go ahead and add it to the chamber. Make sure that the lubricant is getting inside nice and neat, and then we're gonna push the lubricant. So any excess lubricant so it has to come off. So let's go ahead and push it. Here you go. It's good. Let's remove the excess lubricant. And we can bring the caliper down and I'll make sure everything fits into place. Okay, now it's time for us to tackle the upper piston. So let's go ahead and remove the bolt. There you go. But we're not gonna flip it all the way down. We're just gonna leave it like that so we don't put pressure on the brake line. Okay, that's good enough. So we have enough room to remove this piston right here. Look at that. This is dreadful. There you go, folks. This is dry. So we piston back to its chambers and make sure that the lubricant is in all the way inside. Okay, now everything is back into place. Let's go and put the bolt back in. We just add some thread locker into the bolt. So we're going to tie with hand. Okay, now let's go and turn the wheel back to a position where we can reinstall the tire, and this is it, folks. So folks, thank you for being there throughout the whole project. I'm glad that you were there. I hope that you have learned a lot from this project, and I thank you so much for watching this video throughout. And this is RDP with the Living Full channel. We just replaced the front brake pads on a 2011 Nissan Rogue. Thank you, folks. See you guys later. Bye bye.